each of you, if you could introduce yourself, that would be great as you start to speak. Thank you. Go ahead, Evan.
Okay. Hello, our names are Evan, Luke, and Eric. We're 3 graduate students at McMaster University, and we all met as members of the varsity track team. Luke and I have been working here for about 8 years now, and Eric's been here for about 4. Even though we met through our interest in running, today we're here to talk about our interest in how the city is run, specifically concerning housing and urban life. So I'll hand it over to Eric.
Thanks, Evan. As he said, my name is Eric MacPherson. Hamilton is experiencing a twin housing and public health crisis.
Eric, I'm sorry to interrupt. I've paused the time. Could you move a little closer to your mic? You're just not very loud.
Does that help?
Oh, that's much better. Thank you. I'll start
Okay.
when you start talking again.
Thank you, much appreciated. As I said, Hamilton is experiencing a twin housing and public health crisis. Housing in the city is becoming less and less affordable. Additionally, the city's shelter system does not have enough spaces to support houseless folks. This is a problem during a pandemic when people have been encouraged to stay home. To address these crises, the city should build new public housing along the proposed LRT corridor. This will help lower housing prices across the city and give houseless folks the stable housing they deserve. It will also make any future stay-at-home order more effective. As the map put together by Evan demonstrates, there are many properties along the new LRT route that where new housing could be built. It is important, I think, that this new housing is public and not just private affordable housing, because many Canadian cities define affordable as at or below average market rent. Market pressures, such as the housing bubble we are currently living through, could make it affordable in name only. It is therefore important that this new housing is public to shelter it from these market pressures. The city should define affordable as at 30% of household income as defined by organizations such as Acorn. However, I think the city could do more than that. The city should build these new public houses to counter upward market forces. Building on Metrolinx properties, among others, will prevent a situation like Mississauga's, where a property was sold to private developers for $64.5 million with no affordability or public provisions attached. Current housing prices and the rising houseless population represent a market failure that the city must act to remedy. I now pass it on to Luke.
Luke?
All right, thanks, Eric. Yeah, as Evan said, I've lived in Hamilton for a number of years now, but I'm originally from the small town of Elmira, so my apologies if I talk a little plain. So yeah, Eric mentioned that housing's an incredibly important human right, but Hamilton plays a pretty big role in life outside the home as well. So I think the pandemic showed us that the city offers very few free to the public activities. I've spoken with a number of people with kids who are driving around the city trying to find things to do that are safe for COVID with their kids. And doing these activities safely outside is great for limiting the spread that happens from indoor congregations. So I think there's a huge demand for this in Hamilton. You can see this if you go to Bayfront Park in the summer. There's a lot of people hanging out, trying to, do some activities that are safe and distanced and COVID friendly. Same with Princess Point. After the last freeze, there was a lot of people skating there a few weeks ago. So I think there's a lot of demand for these kind of things to be offered by the city in Hamilton. And I think there's a lot of potential as well. As a runner, I've explored a lot of the trails. The waterfront's fantastic, but a lot of these are far from the downtown core and the suburbs. So there's a lot of room for improvement. And some of this is going to take some imagination and initiative. Environment Hamilton's been great for improving outdoor air quality. Like I said, I'm a runner, but when I moved to Hamilton, I actually developed asthma soon after I moved here. And I would bet that has something to do with the air quality versus the sweet smell of country air. But I think with how popular Princess Point skating's been, there's potential for more outdoor rinks throughout the city, where the city could either encourage local community members to build them or help in building them, as well as for more easygoing stuff like working with theater groups for outdoor performances, showing free movies outside like the City of Kingston does. Things like Saturdays on Lock were a great initiative that can be built on and other major commercial roads throughout Hamilton. So I think a lot of this can be paired with the call for stopping sprawl and helping to facilitate a more, I guess, fun life for the more intensified lifestyle we have in Hamilton after we infill. So I want to thank you for your time for listening to us, and also want to lend our support to the demands of the Just Recovery Coalition. Thank you.
Thank you, all of you.